Anthony Geary is remembered by audiences as the man who brought Luke Spencer to life on General Hospital, a role that reshaped daytime television and made him one of its most recognizable figures for nearly 4 decades. Yet behind the cultural phenomenon lies a far more complicated human story, shaped by contradiction, endurance, and emotional cost. His career became inseparable from a character that began as a short-term experiment and evolved into an enduring television legend, drawing millions of viewers and defining an era of soap opera storytelling. While fans celebrated the romance of Luke and Laura as a historic television moment, Geary himself navigated a private internal world that rarely aligned with the public image projected onto him. Fame brought opportunity, admiration, and artistic validation, but it also created pressure, confinement, and a sense of identity loss that followed him for years. This is the story of an actor whose greatest achievement also became his longest shadow, and whose life illustrates the complicated relationship between performance, identity, and the expectations of mass entertainment culture. Early life. In a quiet upbringing, Anthony Geary's early life began in a small, quiet town that offered little in the way of artistic exposure, but much in terms of discipline and simplicity. Raised in a family grounded in strict moral values and structured routines, he grew up in an environment that emphasized humility, responsibility, and emotional restraint. His father worked physically demanding jobs, demonstrating perseverance through labor rather than words, while his mother provided emotional warmth and encouraged observation and sensitivity. From an early age, Geary displayed a tendency to watch people closely, absorbing expressions, gestures, and emotional patterns with unusual attention. Unlike other children drawn to play, he often preferred solitude, recreating scenes he had seen in films and studying characters with fascination. His surroundings were not glamorous, but they shaped a strong internal discipline and a sense of seriousness that would later define his acting style. Even without exposure to the professional arts, he developed an instinctive understanding of storytelling, seeing emotion not as performance but as truth. This foundation became essential when he eventually entered acting, giving him depth that could not be taught in classrooms or rehearsed in auditions. Formative education and discovery of acting. During his school years, Geary's differences from his peers became more noticeable as he gravitated toward creative expression rather than conventional academics. He was not a standout student in traditional subjects, but whenever drama or performance opportunities arose, he showed a natural command of presence and emotional interpretation. Teachers recognized his ability to embody characters with authenticity, often placing him in leading roles without hesitation. This early validation strengthened his belief that he might belong in a world beyond his hometown. His acceptance into a university drama program marked a turning point, offering him structured training and exposure to theatrical traditions. There, he developed technical skills such as voice control, timing, and stage awareness, while also refining his instinctive emotional range. A major influence came when experienced theater professionals recognized his potential during a university production, offering him opportunities that extended beyond academia. Choosing to leave formal education early, he stepped directly into professional touring work, prioritizing real-world experience over certification. This decision reflected a defining trait in his personality, a willingness to take risks in pursuit of artistic truth rather than security or predictability. Early career on stage and television. Geary's early career unfolded primarily on stage, where he developed resilience through live performance. Theater demanded precision and emotional consistency, as there were no opportunities for retakes or editing. Each performance required full commitment, and this environment sharpened his instincts as an actor. Touring productions exposed him to a wide range of roles, allowing him to experiment with different emotional tones and character complexities. Eventually, he transitioned into television, beginning with small guest appearances in episodic series. These roles were brief but impactful, as he approached each one with seriousness and depth, refusing to treat any performance as insignificant. His ability to bring nuance to minor characters made him memorable to casting directors and producers. One of his early breakthroughs involved portraying a socially sensitive role in a mainstream sitcom, where he contributed to one of television's early attempts at handling controversial identity themes with subtlety and humanity. This performance demonstrated his ability to avoid caricature, instead favoring grounded realism. Around this time, he also entered the world of daytime drama, where his path would eventually intersect with the opportunity that defined his career: creation of a defining character. The turning point in Geary's career came when producers of a daytime drama recognized his unique screen presence and offered him a role that was initially intended to be temporary. The character he was given was not designed to be a hero or traditional lead, but rather a complex, morally ambiguous figure. From the outset, the role challenged conventional expectations of daytime television storytelling, presenting emotional contradictions and controversial narrative elements. Geary approached the character with psychological depth, refusing to simplify motivations or soften darker traits. Instead, he built a portrayal rooted in realism, allowing vulnerability and instability to coexist within the same performance. This approach transformed what was meant to be a short storyline into something far more significant. Audiences responded strongly, not because the character was traditionally likable, but because he felt real. Over time, the role expanded, gaining narrative importance and emotional weight within the series. What began as a limited engagement evolved into a defining presence, setting the foundation for one of the most influential characters in soap opera history and permanently altering the trajectory of Geary's professional life. Cultural phenomenon and peak success. As the character grew in prominence, so did Geary's visibility, eventually reaching a level of cultural impact rarely seen in daytime television. The storyline involving his character and a central romantic pairing became a national sensation, drawing unprecedented viewership and media attention. At its peak, the narrative transcended its genre, becoming part of mainstream cultural conversation and attracting audiences far beyond regular soap opera viewers. This moment marked a shift in how daytime drama was perceived, elevating it into broader entertainment relevance. Geary's performance became central to this success, as he infused emotional complexity into scenes that might otherwise have relied on melodrama. His portrayal helped transform a controversial character into a figure audiences could emotionally understand, even when they did not condone his actions. The success brought awards recognition and industry acclaim, establishing him as one of the most decorated performers in his category. Despite the fame, however, the role also began to define him publicly in ways that left little room for separation between actor and character. His identity became increasingly intertwined with the fictional persona he portrayed. Fame, confinement, and professional limitation. With growing recognition came an unexpected form of confinement. Although the success of the role brought stability and admiration, it also limited Geary's opportunities for reinvention. Casting directors and audiences alike struggled to see him outside the identity of his most famous character. Attempts to pursue other roles were often overshadowed by the long shadow of his defining performance. This created a professional paradox. The very success that elevated him also restricted his artistic mobility. Over time, he became closely associated with a single narrative universe, making it difficult for him to fully transition into other genres or character types. The industry's reliance on recognizable branding reinforced this limitation, as producers preferred to keep him within the role that guaranteed audience engagement. While he continued to work consistently, the sense of being creatively boxed in grew stronger. This tension between artistic ambition and industrial expectation became one of the defining struggles of his professional life, shaping both his public statements and private reflections on the nature of long-term television fame. Personal life and extreme privacy. Outside of his professional identity, Geary maintained an unusually private personal life, rarely participating in public events or sharing details about his relationships. Unlike many of his peers, he avoided the promotional aspects of celebrity culture, preferring distance from media attention. This absence created speculation, as audiences attempted to fill in the gaps left by his silence. Some interpreted his privacy as shyness, while others viewed it as deliberate protection of personal boundaries. Over time, This secrecy became part of his public mythology, adding another layer of mystery to his already complex persona. Despite decades in the spotlight, he managed to keep his personal relationships largely out of public record. This separation between public performance and private existence allowed him a degree of control over his identity, even as his professional role became increasingly dominant in popular perception. His life off-screen remained intentionally understated, marked by simplicity rather than spectacle, suggesting a desire to preserve authenticity in a world where most aspects of fame demand constant visibility. Hidden struggles and emotional weight. Beneath the surface of professional success, Geary experienced periods of emotional strain that reflected the psychological demands of long-term character immersion. Playing a complex role for decades required sustained emotional engagement with difficult themes, which gradually blurred the boundaries between performance and personal identity. Over time, the intensity of the work contributed to feelings of exhaustion and detachment. Like many performers deeply associated with a single character, he faced the challenge of separating self from role, especially when public perception rarely acknowledged the difference. These pressures were compounded by the expectations of consistency in long-running television, where deviation from established character identity was often discouraged. While he continued to deliver acclaimed performances, the emotional cost of maintaining such intensity became increasingly significant. His experiences highlight the often unseen psychological demands placed on actors in serialized storytelling formats, where characters evolve in real time alongside the performer's own life, creating a complex interplay between fiction and reality, revelation and private truth. In later years, a private aspect of Geary's life became publicly known through informal personal disclosures rather than official announcements. It revealed that he had spent decades maintaining a long-term relationship away from public scrutiny, ultimately choosing a life of privacy over visibility. This revelation reframed earlier speculation about his personal life and clarified why he had consistently avoided media exposure. Rather than seeking publicity, he appeared to prioritize emotional stability and personal authenticity over public acknowledgement. The response from audiences was mixed, with some expressing surprise and others viewing it as a natural extension of his lifelong privacy. In many ways, the disclosure reinforced the separation he had maintained between his professional identity and his personal reality. It also highlighted the extent to which he had successfully preserved aspects of his life from public consumption, even while occupying one of the most recognizable roles in television history. His private world, long hidden from view, reflected a conscious choice to live beyond the boundaries of fame. Legacy and conclusion. Anthony Geary's legacy is defined not only by the iconic character he portrayed, but also by the broader impact he had on television storytelling and audience engagement. His work helped elevate daytime drama into a culturally significant form of entertainment, demonstrating that serialized television could produce emotionally complex and socially resonant narratives. At the same time, his career illustrates the challenges of long-term association with a single role and the difficulty of maintaining artistic fluidity within a highly recognizable identity. His performances remain studied for their emotional depth and psychological realism, influencing generations of actors who followed. Beyond his professional achievements, his life story reflects themes of privacy, identity, and the personal cost of sustained fame. In the end, Geary's significance lies not only in what he portrayed on screen, but in the quiet complexity of the life he built outside of it, where authenticity mattered more than recognition, and where the final chapter belongs not to a character, but to the individual who lived beyond it. Reflection on identity and the cost of performance. Looking back across Anthony Geary's life and career, what stands out most is not only the scale of his success, but the quiet tension between who he was and who he was perceived to be. For decades, he inhabited a character so culturally dominant that it gradually blurred the boundary between actor and role, leaving the public with a simplified version of a far more complex individual. That kind of long-term immersion in a single persona can create a unique psychological burden, where professional identity begins to eclipse personal identity in both public imagination and private experience. Yet within that tension also lies his achievement, the ability to sustain emotional truth over thousands of performances without reducing the character to repetition or emptiness. His story ultimately reflects the paradox of fame in serialized storytelling, where visibility increases while personal autonomy can quietly narrow. Even as audiences believed they knew him intimately through his work, the real man remained largely outside their reach, shaped by choices that prioritized privacy and authenticity over recognition. In that separation between image and reality, his legacy becomes more than a television milestone. It becomes a meditation on what it means to be seen and what it costs to remain unseen.